Hi, I'm your host, Erica Polsinelli, and welcome to Evolve by Erica, the podcast, where we talk all things spirituality, ascension, health, wellness, and beyond. I'm so excited that you are here. Come on in. Okay, this episode is for the people pleasers, those that might have just a hard time creating and sticking to boundaries, or those that overgive. So let's get started. Ooh, I'm feeling so much come through. Okay, so first and foremost, boundaries. Boundaries are really challenging because, well, for someone who might identify as a people pleaser, what we need for ourselves isn't what's going to make someone else happy in our life. And it could be really challenging when we maybe identify as the peacemaker or the person that wants to be a yes person, that wants to be able to help others and support others and allow things to be easy and just be that person that can get it done, whatever that may be. And it could be challenging to honor our boundaries, but I wanted this to be a reminder of boundaries are an example of self-respect. And boundaries are there for us to implement so that we can actually maintain being the version of ourselves that we wish to be. Being a sensitive person, a highly sensitive person, or an empath, there is this idea that we need to, whether it's protect our energy or do things to maintain how much we actually have to give and have to offer. It's part of our gift and our light to be able to share our light. But if we are not doing things to respect what our light needs in order to shine, we're not only hurting ourselves and what we're meant to share here, but we're actually not really offering anything to that other person as well. Because what starts to happen is we become resentful when our boundaries are crossed, or we feel regretful. We're like, why did I end up doing that? And honestly, sometimes it takes a lot of time and a lot of frustrated moments, a lot of moments of regret to have the courage and the knowing that we need to implement these boundaries for a reason. And it's hard. I feel like in our families, it might not be part of the norm to have boundaries. Like I remember this one time, my dad just showed up in my house and I'm like, well, this isn't a convenient time. I'm in the middle of a workout. I have this to do after. I have that to. He's like, well, what do you mean? It's like a workout. Like that's not essential, but actually it is for my energy. And it may not be essential in your life for you to maintain who you want to be, but it's essential for me in maintaining who I want to be. And of course it's a balance, and not every time I'm choosing a workout over seeing family, but it's knowing in the moments where you need something for yourself and understanding, reminding yourself that it's actually not selfish at all. It's there for you to tap into your highest version of you, who you wish to be, the version you want to offer to those other people and be to those other people. But we wouldn't be that person without some of our boundaries. So I think boundaries is a lot about trial and error and being able to know when it's time to actually say no or put the boundary in place, and when it's time to get back to ourselves. And then also on the flip side, knowing when we have more to give and when we can be there in the way someone else wants us to be there, not at the expense of our own energy. And like I said before, being a highly sensitive person or an empath or a yes person or whatever it may be, we have this idea, it's the ego. We have this idea of ourselves in our mind of who we should show up as and who we should be to other people. But it is essential for us to first and foremost be the person we want to be for ourselves, because from there we can actually show up that much more for everyone else. And I know in the past when I've done things that I knew I didn't have the energy for or that didn't feel aligned for me, so many times I was left feeling regretful. And those moments truly helped me to find the courage and build the courage and confidence to then implement the boundaries in the future. And it takes that. It takes trial and error. So next time you feel like you disregarded a boundary for yourself or you didn't implement something or you said I should have, be excited, embrace that moment, and know you now have that to support you in your next endeavor, to have that courage and confidence to be able to implement the boundary next time you need it. And it will give you that much more fuel and confidence to go forward in it, because I know it's not always easy. The other aspect I want to touch on is not only with people pleasing, but I think sometimes this could live in that realm of really wanting to help people so much so, maybe even sometimes more than they want to help themselves, and feeling like it's your responsibility for someone else to be happy or to be successful or so on and so on. And I feel like this is something I see a lot in whether it be one-on-one sessions or just in life in general. And I think it's important for us to remind ourselves that every single person has their own path. And sometimes when we want to step in and help someone else, we feel it's because we know better, or we have this higher perspective or whatever it may be. And by stepping in, it's one thing to step in and try to support them, but it's one thing to then feel bad about ourselves if we're not able to help that person change or grow or see the way we're seeing it. And the important reminder here is that everyone's journey is so specific to them and what they're meant to go through and experience in their life. And it's never easy to see someone that we love going through a hard time. And it's never easy feeling like we might have something that can just make it easier for them. And the reminder I wanted to share here is how everyone is on their own path. And it's not our job to take anyone off their path and save them from their challenge. Sometimes the challenge is what they actually have to experience and actually have to go through in order to get to their next level. And I know it's hard to watch, and I've been in this situation before, and for some reason this message is coming through like just so powerfully and clearly to me. So I feel like someone or many people need to hear this, but it's not our job. And we shouldn't rob anyone of experiencing their low, their challenging point, when it may indeed be part of getting them to the next level and aligning them to their destiny or the destiny of their next level. So that felt like it had to come through. More recently, I have someone very close to me who, it's so funny, but they went through a very big transformation recently. It's a family member. And for the longest time, I was telling this person, you need a morning routine. Your life is going to change once you implement. Maybe it's an exercise routine, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's both. But once you start doing something for yourself that's going to help you to feel good, that's going to increase your endorphins, the rest of your day is going to be completely different. You're literally going to see out of a completely different lens. And for months, no, let's honestly, over a year, it's probably 2 years, the person just wasn't ready for it. And I would say it over and over and over. And they weren't ready for it until one time they finally brought it up to me that they were looking into this fitness class right by their house. And there's a 6 a.m. offering. They're going to do it before work. And I was like getting so excited because I knew that this would create the biggest shift. Finally, it took a few months. They weren't able to get in contact. They finally got in contact. And there was a little bit of me encouraging them along the way, checking in. Did you get in contact? Did you sign up? You know, all of those things that loved ones want to do for someone that they love to help their experience just be easier and better and more elevated. So they started this practice. And the other day, I think I may have shared this on my story. The other day, they left the windows open of their car. It torrential downpoured. Their entire car was flooded on the inside. And they got out of the workout class and went into the car right before work. And their work is very contingent. Their income is contingent on how they sell. It's like a sales job. So this person got into the car. It was full of water, and filmed a video and sent it to me. Like, it rained, it downpoured, my windows were open, but it doesn't even matter because my car's waterproof, and like just so excited. And I actually messaged the person back after I received the video. And I was like, actually, that's not why it doesn't matter. It's not because your car's waterproof at all. It's because you got up and you did something that supported your energy and your mind before getting in your soaking wet car. Because on the flip side, a year ago, you would see any slight inconvenience as something catastrophic and destructive of your day. It would throw off your entire day. You would not be able to sell anything the rest of your day. And you would blame that event. But now you did something that increases your endorphins, that brings mental clarity, that helps you to feel good about yourself. You gave yourself the time in this space to challenge yourself and feel strong. And then going in there, you went in there as a completely different person, the person you created for yourself this morning, not the person of your past. And I explained this to them, and they responded saying, "You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right." And in that moment, that person was able to see the profound impact of the habits, how they choose to start their day, the mindset that they choose to start their day in, and how that forms their entire day. And I was just so excited to see that example and to finally see this person be able to allow this to be tangible, allow themselves to see how in power they are. They're no longer the victim of their life. And the purpose of this story is it takes time. For those of us who are trying to teach or help or heal, for those of us who were born into families where we feel we're meant to heal some of the ancestral trauma, or just healing the bloodline and healing the people who have come before us, or even who are our siblings, to remember that there is a timeline. We could shine our light. We could lead by example. We can share all the things that we think will be helpful to them or that have been helpful to us. But everyone has to be on their own path, and they have to find what's going to support them in the moment they're meant to find it. And it's just less responsibility for us. And our prayers help, our intentions for them help, our light and being who we authentically are helps as well. And then we have to release the rest to divine and pray and hope and set intention and visualize them living their highest life path. So that's the message that wanted to come through for this podcast today. And I hope that whoever needed it receives it. And just remember, by being you, by being authentically you, by shining and radiating your light out into the world, that's your responsibility and your job. And everything else is up to everyone else's path, their divine path and the divine. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you enjoyed this message. If you feel like anyone else can use to hear this and it can inspire anyone else to think differently and think more expansively, please feel free to share this. Thank you again for being here and being part of this community. May the longtime sun shine upon you. Satnam.